Hi, it's me, Tayah, and today in the kitchen we're going to be making another great recipe from Grandma's repertoire, and that is carrot cake. This cake is so moist and delicious, and you can put raisins in it, walnuts. Typically she would make this in a 9 by 13 inch pan and ice that with cream cheese icing. Now you can use any kind of icing that you want or no icing at all. Some people don't like it, but I like the fluffy white cream cheese icing, so that's what I'm gonna make today. And there's a little secret in the history of this cake that goes back to Grandma Stina, my Grandma Stina, Otto's mom. And she used to make this cake, and she would do a special treatment to one of her ingredients that would actually change the whole name of this cake. So if you'll stay tuned, I'm going to show you what that secret ingredient is and how you can add it to your cake to make it extra special.
This recipe requires 3 cups of grated carrots. I used about 6 carrots, but you may need more or less depending on the size that you have. Our rabbits are going to love these carrot peels, so I'll set them aside. Grate the carrots very fine. That's how I remember Grandma made this cake. Preheat your oven to 350, and let's start to mix the batter. Let's start with 4 nice eggs. We'll pop them in the mixer and blend them until they're light and fluffy. Now add 1.5 cups of your favorite cooking oil. And 2 cups of brown sugar. Now let's blend that together very well. Time to add in our beautiful orange carrots. And we're going to blend those into the batter. For our dry ingredients, we'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. For this recipe, you'll need to add 2 cups of white flour. Here's the secret to making this cake the way Grandma Stina did. She soaked her raisins in booze. Use whatever liquor you have on hand and turn this recipe into what the kids called booze cake. I soaked these raisins overnight in Cointreau, and they soaked up the liquid and softened a lot, and that just adds an extra dimension to the flavor of the cake. Don't worry about getting drunk. The alcohol evaporates with baking, and you're just left with an amazing flavor. Pour it into a 9 by 13 inch pan And let's put this in the oven now for 40 minutes and start to clean up our mess. Now for the icing. Take 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and a brick is better than the ready to spread kind. We'll take half a cup of butter softened and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 4 cups of icing sugar, little by little. And we're going to blend this until it's nice and thick. And it will seem like you need more liquid, but you really don't. Just keep mixing. Time to check if it's done. Set it aside to cool and then smother it with icing. And enjoy.
Well, it's the next day after baking the cake. It's all been iced. I've done several takes on this cake right now, doing a review, just because it's so good. So I hope this isn't the last take. But anyway, a couple things I wanted to share about what happened when I took it out of the oven. I set that out on the counter to cool for a couple hours. And when I came back to it, I noticed that the center of the cake was depressed. And I don't know if that has to do with how much booze is in the cake, because, you know, after you have a bit to drink, you might feel a little depressed. So it's possible that that could be the problem. A couple times during the baking of the cake, I opened the oven, and I'm not sure if that made a difference, but I do remember feeling as I opened the oven that maybe I shouldn't be doing that. The cake is so moist that I don't know, or maybe it was the size of the eggs I used, because it takes 4 eggs to make this recipe, and I used large duck eggs. So I'm not sure if that made a difference. But nevertheless, this cake is not ruined. It's still delicious. I iced all around the edges of the cake. I didn't take a picture because I was ready to serve that. I just iced the outside of the cake, and then in the center, I just cut that part out. And actually, some people like it without the icing, so I just left the icing off. It's still a big hit. The raisins are incredible. They just add a little something extra. Honestly, this is the best cake. I know it freezes really well and it maintains its moisture. So you take it out of the freezer, you can let it sit out for a bit and thaw out, and it's still going to be moist and delicious and taste just as fresh as the day that you bake it. You can put walnuts in this cake. I didn't because I was sharing it with a group of people, but you can put walnuts in it or on top of it to decorate it. It's up to you. But that tastes like Grandma's cake. I hope that you'll make your own cake and you can taste the memories and share them with your family. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.